I just want somebody to jiggle my balls.
I look bald from this angle. I'll be showing you guys today what I did to strengthen my actual back, strengthen the supporting muscles that help your back, and other supplementary exercises. 3, 2. A lot of y'all have experienced or are experiencing back pain and were wondering how I cured / fixed my chronic back pain, which I shouldn't even have as a 22-year-old. I will be showing you guys today at the gym. I'm going to the gym. I'll be showing you guys today. And what you'll need are light red resistance band and a water bottle or a foam roller if you have. We are going to start with some dead bugs. So we're going to do alternating arm and leg. You have your head on the floor. So a variation I like to include of the dead bug is then isolating one side and forcing the other to kind of engage your lat and your hip flexors with a water bottle or a foam roller. I'll show on this side first. In between here like this, so you're engaging, you're pushing with your lat and you're keeping this here so that it doesn't fall, right? But right now, like I'm actively flexing, and then the other side will be extending. For me, I like to do more of a extended. Okay, and then we'll do other side. When I first started doing these, I'm pretty sure it was harder. This side was harder for me because the left side of my back was more injured. Another one is cat-cow, or like this may variation of a cat-cow. My AT, athletic therapist, called it spine segmentation. So what you're going to do is you're going to flex and extend certain parts. So if we start completely in that cow position, we're going to start by flexing each, as best as you can, like each section. 1, 2, 3. Rather than all at once, because when you do it in sections, it helps you to engage specific parts of your back so you have control over that. I had a lot of tightness in my mid-back because as my lower back stayed injured, the rest of my back actually started to compensate and stiffen up to prevent further injury. Obviously, that's not what we want. We want to make sure that nowhere else has to compensate and then potentially injure other areas. Because it's kind of like a chain reaction. Nothing ever comes just out of nowhere. This helps to mobilize your thoracic spine, your T-spine a little bit. So we're going to start up, and you're going to twist as much as you can inside and reach. You're going to bring it up. Everything is a controlled motion. I'm not like swinging and bringing it underneath. 1, 2. So I actually have more flexibility on this side because the right side of my back is not as injured. This is actually a regression for the next exercise I'm going to show you, because if you have a hard time putting pressure on the side of your knees or balancing, or you haven't yet built up that core strength, this exercise is a lot more stable. Like, I'm not gonna say that one exercise is gonna cure everything, but for me personally, this is the one that I think incorporating more consistently into my workouts, or even just like as a warm-up before my workouts, has helped to, 1, alleviate the pain, and 2, strengthen my core and improve my mobility. Hips are forward, everything is stacked in a straight line. I'm all stacked. A lot of people will make this mistake of like hinging super far back. They're not aligned, so their hips are pushed back. You instead want to bring your hips forward. Does that make sense? Hips are up, arms raised. We're gonna twist. Twist and back up. Twist and back up. And this one, it might feel a little odd because with this exercise, you're almost trying to reach as deep as you can back here. Not to the point where it hurts you. And if it's too hard initially to try this one, don't lift your leg up at first. Just try and do it like this, knees together. If you can, maybe feet together and use that as a support so that your legs can be apart. And then once you get comfortable with this, you can raise your leg. There's a lot of things to put together, so there's no rules or like specifications as to, you know, where you should be at, especially in a recovery journey. Do what works best for you, but also don't be afraid to challenge yourself, because if you never push yourself or work any harder, you'll never get better. Sometimes it can feel like you're barely pushing yourself, but then you also have to kind of look at things from the bigger picture. I feel like the most important thing to remember is that you're only ever in competition with yourself. So for me, there was no point in comparing myself to other people who had gone through ACL reconstructions and compare how fast they had recovered or whatever. And it's not to say to never compare, but having those people to kind of keep in perspective, to kind of keep myself in check was helpful. But never did I ever be like, oh my gosh, this person has already recovered this much already and I'm only here. There's other circumstances, there's other resources, there's so many different variables that could have led to someone being farther along or farther behind. If you have the capacity to push yourself and you're not, but it's a totally different thing if you just aren't ready to push yourself that far yet. Just do whatever you can. This exercise requires a resistance band. My physio gave this to me, and when he first gave it to me, I was like, you gotta be shitting me. Like, this seems like such an easy exercise. Little did I know, I was about to be severely humbled. So make sure you're aligned with this band. Balance, bend your knee. You can hinge a little bit. Make sure your hips are square. And you're just gonna push forward. And if this is too easy, you can move a little bit over. Increase that tension a little bit. And your goal basically is to not be dragged over this way or push it diagonally. And to do this, you actually have to engage your core and stabilize yourself so you don't fall. And oftentimes, or when I first started doing this, for me, I was like, yo, I'm doing it. But I was actually like leaning over a lot, and I was like pushing diagonally or like letting myself push this way. So this doesn't count, okay? If I'm diagonal, push straight forward and back. And it is like a weird sensation to get used to, so don't get discouraged. Like, make sure your feet as well, you're not like leaning more on one side of your foot or more on the other. Try and keep here, here, and here on the ground, okay? Don't feel bad if you like are a little wobbly, or you can only do like, you know, 3 or 5 of them. As you get better, you'll be able to make those like micro corrections in the movement and execute it properly, pushing straight forward. Oh, my leg. Oh, gosh. Let's get into some of the supplementary exercises or stretches that I use to help alleviate pain. So these are static, and they are to be done after a workout or after you're sufficiently warmed up. If you really want to stretch the glute better, you're going to bring this out 90 degrees. And make sure you're not like leaning too much on that same hip. For some people, this might even be enough. But if you don't feel it yet, you can also keep your hand here. Make sure it doesn't come back. And lean down. That SI joint really bugs me. This is the back exercise my AT gave me to like directly strengthen my lower back, because I've given you guys a lot of core stuff, but this is what he gave me to strengthen my lower back specifically. So these are called reverse hypers. Hips are kind of off. You're gonna just raise your legs. Not too hard, but try not to like use momentum and bring your legs up. Bent legs is more of that glute, so try and keep your legs straight. If it is too hard though, and your back is like too weak for a straight leg, you can do bent. This is just a controlled, gentle motion. Like, I can feel my back burning up right now. to superset with this exercise is just single leg. So if 2 is too hard, hold on, have 1 foot down and you can do single. And it's not wrong if you feel it in your glute a little bit either. It's just, you should be trying to feel that contraction like here and like maybe upper glute. And then last one for reverse hypers, I'm just holding that there. Try not to like arch your back so much. Try and bring your legs up using your back, but don't arch from your upper body. Holding your ankles, kind of raise your butt first and then extend. If it's too hard to do it with your legs like this, try and make them a little wider. This one also helped to kind of just keep my hamstring moving when it hurt at the beginning of the tear. Flex them back and forth. And make sure you like feel the pull in your legs. Well, I hope that helped you guys, and I hope you guys don't have any more back pain. But you have to do the exercises, like it's not gonna go away by itself. So I learned that the hard way.
And then make sure you guys don't overdo it when you think it feels good.
Yep.
Sabrina re-injured it like 3 times.
I did re-injure my back a handful of times.
I feel like what a lot of people don't realize about back injuries is that they're often caused, well, they can occur from like actually having a weak back or doing something that tweaks it. But for the most part, sometimes it is a lack of strength in your core or in other areas which compound and then lead you to have a back injury. Which is not to say that your back isn't injured, it's just that it has now become injured and stays injured because of a weak core or weak hamstrings or weak hip flexors or weak whatever, or maybe parts of your back are weaker compared to others, right? So that's why it's important, if you're only ever hitting upper body, to not do that. Ow.